the Galaxy family. Sister Shanice in the house for today's community talk show. It's Saturday the 25th of August 2018, and it's an extra special day because it's my one and only daughter's birthday, her Earth Strong today. So I want to rise you up, my darling Sash, and hopefully you're listening and hearing your birthday rise up. Oh, she has a beautiful, beautiful spirit. I tell you, I am just honored to have her as a child. Oh, one love, my darling. I'd like to also rise up the entire Galaxy family, all of you who are out there listening, tuned in, got it locked to www.galaxyafiwi.com. The only de-brainwashing station here to inform, entertain, and to educate. So keep it locked, spread the word. We are coming to you live and direct via the World Wide Web. So it's the community talk show. Sister Shanice here. As you know, we normally alternate between myself and Sister Jason Ray, but she's unfortunately not well, so I just want to send some healing vibrations her way and wish her a speedy recovery. So you've got me today again for the community talk show, and I hope that you will be interacting and keeping it lively. Got a number of topics for you, got a couple of guest speakers who I'm expecting to call in, so all in all it should be a really good show. But before we go into the show itself, of course, we need to rise up our awesome, formidable management team that we have here on the Big G. Man like Chief Pacombra Bai, the man who had the vision for this radio station, made his vision his mission, and it didn't stop there. He put a plan in place and didn't stop doing the works until his plan was fully executed and this radio station accomplished. Mission accomplished. And you know, those are the very important steps that we need to take in life if we're going to materialize from our mind into the physical reality. Yeah? So if we want to bring something from our mind into the present, once we've perceived it in our minds, we need to make it, that vision, our mission. Put our mission into a plan and then break down the steps that we need to be taken in order to accomplish that plan, and then we will have our mission accomplished. So I want to rise up all the management team here. Chief Pacombra Bai, our awesome Dr. Abu, the man with the broad shoulders here on the Big G, who, you know, is the one behind the scenes making sure that, the station continues to run smoothly along with the other management team members like Brother Anu. Yes, Brother Anu is our technician here, the expert behind the scenes with all the electronic expertise. So I want to rise you up, my brother, for bringing those skills here to the Big G. You could have just concentrated those skills into the world out there, the corporate world out there, but no, you're giving back as an example of what we all ought to be doing, not just utilizing our skills for monetary gains, not just utilizing our skills in order to elevate ourselves and our positions in this world today within the systems and constructs that be, but we ought to be utilizing our skills for the benefit and the advancement of our people, our nation, and our race. So rising up all of those of you who are out there doing just that. Want to rise up our Elder Herikuti, our spiritual leader here on the Big G. Want to rise up also Nico the Most Royal, yes, our programmer. And want to rise up, of course, Prophetess, yes, our queen among the kings here on the Big G. Rise yourself up, Prophetess. And of course, you know, it's one thing to have the management and it's another thing to have this fantastic, bombastic radio station information, but without the presenters, it would be silent. So I want to rise up each and every one of our presenters that we have here on the Big G. Oh, the list is too numerous to mention, but if you're a regular listener, you know them all. We have a awesome team of presenters here on the Big G. So I want to rise up each and every one of you. Yes, in your respective places, doing a great job that you're doing. Be your focus on education, or your focus might be on Africa, or your focus is on the community, or your focus is on health, or your focus might be on the political realm out there, or on particular, organizations that you represent. Whatever your focus may be, may you rise up in your position as a presenter here on the Big G, and may you grow in that role as well, to be all that you can be and more. So sending out greetings and enough respect to all of the Galaxy presenters. And of course, it's one thing us being here as presenters and actually playing the music or doing the talk shows. But if it wasn't for you, the listeners, our callers, our text message senders, those who are in there in the community and are promoting and marketing the Big G, those of you who've been listening regularly for years and, are constantly introducing new listeners to the Big G, we thank you, because without you, the very important piece of the jigsaw, it just wouldn't be worth us being here. So I want to rise up all of our Galaxy listeners and those of you who engage with us. And also as well, we want to rise up all of those of you who actually participate in our events, events such as our Parents and Ancestors Day events, and all of our, other challenges that we have, for example, at the Inner London Crown Court, for those of you who were there, supporting the Big G, for those of you who are going to be joining us on our trips to Africa, our trip to Zimbabwe, or you might be going to the Gambia or to Ghana, wherever your African destination is. We want to thank you, because it's one thing to talk the talk and it's another thing to walk the walk. And, organizing these trips isn't easy. It's extremely challenging, and sometimes our own people can be the most difficult ones. But when you have a vision and when you have a purpose, and when you know that what you need to do has to be done in terms of helping to further our race and build the bridges between those of us here in the diaspora and those of us in Africa, then nothing will sway us away from that goal and that mission that we have. So everything in life, my people, be it running a business, be it going to university, be it attending school, nothing comes without its challenges. But what we have to do is to be able to rise up beyond those challenges and continue towards the mark and the goals that we have set for ourselves. And it's a shame we have those in our community, some of them who are our own worst enemies, the tear down one. But you know what? We have to rise above them as well, because, we're going to get them everywhere. But the good news is that the vast majority of our people are progressive people, are people with a vision, are people with an aim and a goal, but focused on the betterment of our people. So for all of you out there, the vast majority of you who are doing the works that need to be done to rise up our race, to rise up our nation, to build the bridges between us here and the mama land, I want to rise you up double, quadruple, enough multiples of times, because you're doing a great works indeed. So Sista Shanice here. I'm going to be here for just under the next 3 hours at least on the community talk show. I'm hoping as well that our brother Freestyle is well and is going to be with us after my show. I'm not sure about that, but we'll find out soon enough at the end of my show at 1 p.m. this afternoon. So yes, I'm going to be here for just under the next 3 hours, flying the ship, the big mothership, Galaxy Africa. afiwi.com. And wherever you are in the world tuned in, I want to rise you up. And thank you for keeping it locked to this wonderful community radio station for us as African, beautiful, melanated people. So this is a community talk show. This is a show where we as a people focus on the issues and concerns that impact on us as melanated people. As we know, there are very few platforms out there that provide an invaluable service like this, that enable us as a people to be able to engage in discussions and have meaningful dialogue between us as a people on the issues that impact on us from our perspective. This is a platform where we welcome you to share your research, share your knowledge, comment on views and questions. This is where, we as a people are able to come together, learn from each other, share, topics that are of interest to us. So I want to thank you in advance for keeping it locked to the De-Brainwashing radio station. And also for your interaction. Only we can do for we. We are the ones who will have to liberate our minds and liberate ourselves as a people. We know we're a people who, have not so long ago in terms of the scheme of things, come out of bondage, and we had to liberate ourselves to be where we are at the moment. But, we are still going through, and we're a people who need healing. And in order to heal, we're the ones who need to be doing that healing ourselves. So, your thoughts are powerful. Share your thoughts with us. Cities and kingdoms were first, formed in the mind, formed as a thought in somebody's mind. So, nations actually begin as a thought in someone's mind. Everything that's created, everything that you can see, touch, begun as a thought in someone's mind. So, your thoughts are important. Don't hesitate to share your thoughts. And remember, because what we say is just so powerful and we can't take back the chats, let's think before we speak. Let's choose our words carefully. Let's choose words of empowerment. Let's choose words that's going to elevate us as a people. Let's choose words that's going to lift us up, give us hope, that's going to bring us together as a people. Okay, let's, we're in a doomy and gloomy world, we know, but, there's always, two sides of the coin. We can, and we can either look at the glass as being half full or half empty. So let's empower each other and lift each other up and come with solutions as well, where necessary. So keep it locked to the community talk show. Got a few topics for discussion today. We probably won't be able to give all of them justice, but I'm going to put them out there, and it's for you, our listeners, to pick up on the topics that you would like most of all to discuss. And as I said, I've got a couple of callers who are going to be calling in, special callers, guest callers. You're all special, but I've got a couple of guest callers who are going to be calling in. So our topics for discussion is one around health. And we're going to be talking to our guests, Dr. Joe and Mama Naasira. Naasira, I think. My apologies for pronouncing your name wrong, my beautiful sis, but I'm sure you can correct me when you call in. And they are joint authors of a book called Spicy, Tasty Vegan Cuisine, an informative health guide for the melanated people of color. And they're not new to the Big G. They are, they're family. They've been on our sister Jasunre's show before here on the Big G, and they've got a lot happening. So they're going to be calling in and they're going to share with us what they've got going on. So we look forward to their call in a short while. And you'll hear from them about the Vegan Fest event that's happening in the Gambia and the works that they're doing out there. Another topic for discussion that I'm putting out there is Uganda, the Bobby Wine situation. Bobby Wine, for those of you who maybe don't know, is a successful and popular Afrobeats artist turned entrepreneur turned politician in Uganda who was imprisoned recently on trumped-up gun charge. And he was also very, very badly beaten, during the process of his arrest. And there's been a huge, huge outpouring of support for this young entrepreneurial politician who was making a very strong challenge, opposition challenge to the current government in Uganda. Anyway, he went to court on Thursday. He was brought into court. Still, you could see he was in a lot of pain, and but he is alive, at least, because at one time there was some real concerns about his health and whether he'd survived his beating. And anyway, at court, the gun charge was dropped, only for a charge of treason to be immediately put in its place. So if you are a supporter of Bobi Wine, if maybe you were campaigning outside Uganda House on Thursday, or if you then went on to campaign outside Downing Street, I saw at least 100 Ugandan supporters, or I think they were mainly from Uganda, but at least 100 strong melanated supporters outside Downing Street protesting for the release of Bobi Wine. So if you were involved in that demonstration, then you'd like to share with us or give us an update of the situation there, please do give us a call here on the Big G and bring more enlightenment to us here about what's actually going on. Thirdly, also in court this week on Wednesday was the hotly contested opposition's claim in Zimbabwe about the elections. He claimed that the elections were rigged and it was fraud, and there was fraud. So there was a court hearing on Wednesday. The case was heard by the Constitutional Court, and the decision was made on Friday in a joint statement by the Constitutional Court. And the outcome was that the opposition lost their case, and the decision to appoint Emmerson Mnangagwa as the president of Zimbabwe stands. So obviously over 2 million voters who voted for Emmerson, who voted for the opposition, Nelson Chamisa, probably feeling very disgruntled still. But so what would our message and what would our advice be to those, 2 million voters in light of the recent decision? Would you like to share your thoughts? If so, give us a call. And of course, we have our ganja industry issue in Jamaica that, we're going to keep on the table. And I'm hoping that we'll have a brother, Richard Crawford, calling in a bit later in the show as well to talk to us and to give us an update about what's happening there from the Ganja Growers and Producers Association's perspective. Because, we want to boost, that particular campaign that we're supporting our family with in Jamaica. Okay, so the very important line numbers that you will need in order to call in and to have a discussion with us about one of those topics above. The line numbers are 0207 193 0174. Okay, and if you're calling from outside, it's outside the UK, it's +44 207 193 0174. And if you want to text us, the text line number is +44 7377 920 703. Okay, so let's start the playback so that we can go straight away to our first caller who we have on the line.
Greetings, sister. I'm phoning at this stage because I have to go out shortly to the hospital with my mother and I won't be able to hear the rest of the program.
You're welcome to call at this stage, my brother, and we hope all goes well.
To make an urgent African community appeal in relation to the case of our elder Albert Wright, aged 88 years, who was robbed of his pension and thrown to the ground in an incident at approximately 10 to 11 in the morning in Oakland Road, Norbury, on Monday, the 13th of August.
Mm-hmm.
Our elder has been seriously injured. I'm going to give you the name again, sis, so that you can look up the case for yourself, because I believe you may have access to online sources. It is the case of Albert Wright, W-R-I-G-H-T. He's aged 88 years. The thieves, the robbers, who regrettably appear to come from our own community, stole his bag, his phone, £300 in cash, and our 88-year-old elder was left with a swollen face and a black eye after smashing his head on the pavement.
Oh dear.
He was left lying defenseless on the ground, and the suspects left in a black Mercedes. Imagine that, my sister. People from our own community driving around in black Mercedes cars,
robbing
our 88-year-old elders of their pension money.
Dear.
My sister, I appeal to you as a respected member of our community to go to the Croydon Advertiser, is where I found this story. It may be reported elsewhere. And just have a look at the photograph of Elder Albert Wright and look at the state in which that elder was left in after he was robbed, apparently, by two members of our own community. My appeal,
wicked.
My appeal, my sister, is if that there is anybody listening who has heard any rumors, who has even heard the people boasting about doing this to one of our elders. This could be our father, our mother, our grandfather or grandmother at the age of 88. If there is anybody that knows anything about who was responsible for that brutal attack, please can they give the name, not to one of our organizations, but to the authorities, so that the people responsible are handed over and get what they deserve. I'm sorry I'm not taking back any talk on this. This is outrageous. 88-year-old Albert Wright, robbed of his pension money near his own home in Norbury, 10:50 a.m. on Monday, the 13th of August. Sis, I appeal to you, look up the story for yourself.
I've got the story here in front of me, my brother, and you've just outlined it for us here on the Big G.
Just have a look at the face of our elder and share it with the listeners once I've gone. Because many of us have parents or even grandparents of that age, and we have to be honest, at that age, you can easily be killed in an attack like that.
Easily. This could easily have been a murder case. I'm looking at the picture now. It's
I have to bring this issue to the listeners, but I am appealing that if there is anybody that knows who was responsible, they must be handed over to the authorities to face justice.
Your appeal has been heard loud and clear, my brother.
Thank you, my sister.
Thank you too. And let's hope that, those dangerous individuals within our community are apprehended sooner rather than later before they do this again, and maybe next time find themselves facing a murder charge and not just a brutal robbery charge. So you heard it, Galaxy family. If you, are aware of who the culprits are, they were driving a black Mercedes, and it was an awful, brutal attack. I'm looking at the picture, and the poor elder, So we can't have ones-on-ones among us, conducting themselves in this way. Absolutely shocking and appalling. Let me bring in our brother Kwame. Greetings, brother Kwame.
Greetings, Minister. And how are you today?
Oh, I'm great, my brother. And yourself?
I'm very well, very well.
Fantastic. Glad to hear it. Go ahead, my brother.
This is quickly on a few things. You see, this is some of our people behaving in this kind of inordinate manner. Gives the police the excuse to actually police us during the carnival because a handful of a minority. I heard on LBC today that 13,000 police, think about it, 13,000, right, are going to police the carnival over the next 2 days. They have this thing called knife detecting machine, right? So do they have that at football stadiums? High-profile football matches between Celtic and Rangers or Liverpool and Manchester United? Do they have 40,000 police in the stadium?
That sounds like an army. 13,000 is an army.
Yes. And this is what we need to be aware of. These people are not playing when it comes to carnival, when it comes to police, because they think...
It's not just carnival. They're not playing when it comes to us.
Well,
they're coming armed and they're coming with an intention to arrest as many of our young people as possible to fill up their jails and their private prisons. We know that's what it's about.
And this is why, for me, I'll tell you, young people, don't go to carnival. I know you want to enjoy yourself, right? But these people have their agenda, right? 13,000 police. I heard on LBC, but they interviewed the Metropolitan Police guy. 13,000 police, and they've got drones, they've got plainclothes policemen, they've got helicopters that are going to be, circumnavigating that couple of square miles on Notting Hill. Is this really a carnival? Right, our ancestor Claudia Jones and others who set up the carnival, they must be turning in their graves when they see what became a carnival of to celebrate one's culture and heritage, right? And it even has political connotations, has now sunk to this. Right? So we need to be careful as to what's going on out there, right?
Most definitely.
When it comes to Uganda,
yes,
this criminal, and I call him a criminal, Museveni, been in power for 32 years. This man is going to do anything and anything to hold on to power. Right? He just had a bogus referendum that will give him basically, the license to actually, enact his rule or to extend his rule. Yes. Right, and it's clamping down severely on opposition. Right, we've had, the main opposition leader, is it Misa Kavela or something? He was told, I think he's been in house arrest or, prison for a long time, and it's clamped down hard on the opposition, and also the media as well. And this Afrobeat singer is the latest example of the hardline tactics that Museveni and his criminal fraternity are taking to ensure that they make Uganda a one-party state. Yeah, and Britain knows about this.
Yes.
That in Kampala, you tell me that the British ambassador in Kampala doesn't know about this? But because he's looking after the interests and the oil, like I said to you before, I'm a shareholder in Tullow Oil because Tullow Oil got oil in Ghana, and I get reports I get quarterly reports from them. Right, they've discovered oil off the Ugandan coast. Right, and as long as Museveni is looking after their interests, right, Britain ain't gonna say anything, right? Britain knows this is going on because they've got attaché, they've got embassy in Kampala, right? The British High Commission lives in Kampala, a nice suburb of Kampala. They know what go on, but because it's not affecting British citizens, because it's not affecting their interests, right? You see, they're not saying anything.
Yes, my brother. This is why I go back to the show on Wednesday where we were looking at this democratic system and talking about whether or not it's actually right for Africa. It's not that we even want them to say anything because we don't want them involved in our affairs. It's about how we, can resolve the problems that we have. Okay, we're operating within a so-called democratic system which the Europeans have introduced, and therefore maybe that's why Africa often looks to them to be the ones who determine whether or not what we're doing is fair or not. But we've got to get to the place as a people where we can institute our own systems of correction, and our own methods of trying to address and deal with the problems that we have. Maybe it's the AU that needs to get involved, and we know it's not a perfect structure or body either, but be looking to bodies, African bodies, that can help to resolve these sort of problems.
No, but they use corrupt my sister because, like I said, it's funded by non-Africans, and also there's a clause in the AU that said that a member state should not interfere in the internal affairs of another member state.
Yes, there is that.
This is why what's going on in Nigeria. ECOWAS is not really involved, right? It only took the intervention of I think it was Britain by proxy that forced ECOWAS to get rid of Jammeh when Jammeh refused to go in Gambia, right? Because they had interest in putting Adama Barrow there. Adama Barrow is a stooge in the Gambia. Many Gambians don't know the history of Adama Barrow, but I do, right? This man is a puppet. This man is a stooge.
There again,
right?
I understand what you're saying, and it does still, it just pricks me to know that, we're at the place at the moment in time where we seem to be having to rely on those, outside of our race, to come in and intervene in our affairs, because we know, that just leaves the door wide open, for alien armies to come in. And we know only too well the consequences of that. We're the victims while we're here in the UK of, outside interference in Africans' affairs and Africa's business.
Yep.
Yeah, but we're going to have to think of
where there's mercenaries in the DR Congo to speak. There's white mercenaries, in Namibia, keeping that country all white. We know there's white mercenaries that are in South Africa at the moment training, the white people in case of this land preparation gets nasty. Right, there's white mercenaries in
all over Africa,
Angola. Yeah. Trying to protect Santos, that reign and his cronies. So we know that is going on. But finally, before I go off the line, the health thing of our people is very, very important.
Yes.
Dr. Ferguson says every week, your health should be the most important thing in your life. More important than your mortgage, more important than your children, more important than anything, because without health, you ain't get a quarter of life. And unfortunately, because the bulk of our people living in the UK have adopted a Western diet, a Western lifestyle. We're down like flies. There's a funeral virtually every hour of the day of black people in this country. Today, I bet you any money there'll be about 100 funerals up and down the country where black people go to today. Why? Why? Because we've abandoned the diet and lifestyle of our ancestors. Our ancestors lived to 400, 500 years. Right, so when we're done at 60, 70, right, that's your baby. You're a baby when you're 50, 70 years old. That's nothing, right? But because we think that we live in a so-called developed, sophisticated society, right, we are acting on the norms and whims of the white people. And we think everything that they do is good. Drinking alcohol, black women smoking, they're eating this processed food, not doing exercise, drinking, because your white friends drink and you want to drink as well to fit in. You think it's a good thing, but we're dying.
We are indeed. My brother, please do keep it locked. Please do call back as always. Very informative, information and input into the shows and our discussion. I've got our guest on the other line who I'm going to try and hook up. But absolutely agree with you on what you're saying there in terms of our health as well. One love, my brother. Keep it locked to the big G.
Right.
All right. Okay, so our caller from the Gambia is unable to come through on the Skype line, so let me try and bring them through on the phone line. Greetings, do we have you on the phone line? No, okay, I'm probably using the wrong lead. So, one moment, are you still on the line? Yes, call in on the Skype line number. Okay, so let me just give out. That's right. Yeah, or just so international callers. Thank you. International callers, if you want to call in, just download Skype, and from Skype, just search for Galaxy Afiwi, and you should be able to hook us up that way. Otherwise, you can just call in using the +44 207 193 0174 phone number.